Today I'm joined by Katrina Boldy, founder of Boldly Designs, a Colorado based workshop crafting premium leather leads, collars, harnesses, and adaptive gear, especially for service dog handlers and people with mobility or dexterity challenges. Katrina's perspective matters because she's chosen quality and intentional design over mass production. And we'll dig into the unseen challenges of building sustainable gear, the strain behind running all sides of a business, and how systems and technology might play a role in keeping the craft and the people alive and happy.
I'm Katrina Boldy. My business is called Boldly Designs. We make dog equipment like leather dog leashes, collars, and harnesses. We also have a great non-leather version of leashes. My personal passion and our specialty is service.
Service dog, you said equipment. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you have contracts with service dog providers that you create the equipment for them and then they send the dog to the homes with the equipment?
I am the official harness supplier. These are all super custom, made one at a time to the dog's measurements and have to fit the person's height and needs as well. So there's no need for a contract for what I do. I just do it really well. And people come back.
That's what you want to do. Tell me about the first leash you made came from a gap in the market. I read that about you.
Yes.
What did you see the industry ignoring, and how did that spark Boldly Designs?
I'm going to go back to about 1993. I raised a guide dog puppy for guide dogs for the blind. Each of their raisers gets one of their special guide dog leashes when they raise their puppy, and it was just the best leash. I used it for 18 years.
Must have been a leather leash.
It was a leather leash. And it was just time to replace it. It was past its useful lifespan. It's still functional, but I couldn't find one anywhere. No pet shops carried it. I could not find one of these anywhere. It was a specialty item. It's not something that your regular pet retail places are going to carry. And just finding a decent leather leash is hard enough anyway. And this was early 2000s, mid 2000s. And so I just decided I'm going to find some leather and make something that works for me. So that's what I did. I got a couple of simple hand tools. I bought a few straps of leather and some Chicago screws and a couple pieces of hardware.
You made your
own.
I
made myself the perfect leash. It was, in my interpretation, it was a little step up from the regular 2-position guide dog leash. It has a snap at each end, and it has a longer position and a shorter position, and made to be used with that guide dog harness, right? So it has really specific length measurements. I wanted something a little different that I could also wear around my waist so I didn't have to hold on to it. That ended up becoming the working dog lead, which is not the most popular leash right now, but it's still a favorite of mine because it's the original. When my friends and my neighbors saw this, they're like, I have to have one of those. So I made a few, and that just kind of sparked the idea.
Still have that leash?
I do, yes.
I have it the framed original in your business.
I have a museum archive wall, just some pegs in my office that I hang the archive.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, I keep them. That also is influenced by, I worked in arts for a long time. I worked in art museums. So there's kind of a carryover there of a need to just preserve the history, right?
So making something with your hands wasn't entirely new to you?
No.
Okay. Do you have an art background?
I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts with an emphasis in photography. Relevant to my early career, I was a portrait photographer for 12 years, a while. And then just needed a career change and ended up in some art museums. I did this crazy thing, starting a business, and it worked out. So here I am 18 years later.
Can you share a moment where the reality of running everything, design, fulfillment, support, clashed with your ideals, and what did it cost you?
Every day. No,
Expand, tell
big.
us.
Yeah, owning a business, especially a really small business where I was the only, it was just me from 2008 to 2013. So no help. I mean, I had help, but no employees, I should say. And yeah, no, you live, breathe, eat, and drink your business. As the business progressed, you have to have a website, you have to have all these other things. And technology is not my thing. I make things with my hands. That's where my skill set is. I design things and I make things that work. But yeah, so every day is a struggle with just technology
The
necessary for the
support.
modern world. Yeah.
The support for the art, other hardware, craftsmanship. Where do you feel the biggest bottleneck in keeping quality consistent as your demand grows?
The bottleneck for quality is very much dependent on the supplies we can get, right? And the leather industry is really interesting because it's a natural material, right? So that material can be affected by weather that happened several years ago. If there's a drought, there's fewer cattle and they might be younger, which hides are smaller. So there's a lot of
That's something you
variability
I'd never even
that you
think about.
right, yeah. And then hardware is its own. There is bottleneck. There are zero foundries in the United States that make either solid brass or stainless steel hardware for what I need for leashes. All of that has to be imported. We would love to get it domestically. It's just not an option. The infrastructure doesn't exist. That can get held up by global supply chain issues, just like everybody else gets on a daily basis. Any business that needs supplies sourced outside the country, it can be a challenge. You might be buying the same widget 1,000 times, and then the thousandth and one time that you buy, you receive a different part, even though you ordered the same thing, because they might have switched their manufacturer. And there's a slight difference. They think it's the same piece of hardware, but it's not. So that go back to the drawing board and resource. That's ongoing. Something like that pops up at least every couple of months. During COVID, it was weekly.
Wow. Have you been affected by tariffs?
Prices have gone up. I'm seeing it more on hardware at the moment because my leather is North American. Some of the tanneries I use are in the United States. One is in Mexico, but they use US steer hides. So they cross the border twice, basically. And nobody in the industry really knows what's going to happen. And it's the uncertainty that has been the biggest stressor. By the time I receive something, I don't know what it's going to cost me. It's really hard to plan. Know what your
Right.
costs are going to be.
Would you say that has been the hardest part of scaling across states and countries is the
Um,
unknown about pricing?
yeah, I think that is a big part of the challenge. And having good, reliable employees makes all the difference in the world, right? Especially for handcrafted product,
How
right?
many employees do you have?
I have 4 full-time, 1 part-time, plus myself. We've always been small. I had up to 7 at one point before COVID. The world changed, as everybody's aware. We've been running smaller lately, partially because of demand. The economy absolutely affects what people buy for their pets, right? And in that respect, labor costs are really high because if you have employees, you also have to have insurance. They cost a lot more than the hourly wage they get paid.
People who work for a corporation don't understand that.
Yeah.
These about self-employed business owners.
They see $1,000 harness order coming in and they're thinking that I've just made $1,000. I can go, I made like $5.
Right.
We run a really thin margin on our service dog equipment because it's already going to a market that just doesn't have extra cash, right? Disabled people are really strapped. And when the economy gets difficult, they are hit disproportionately harder than a lot of other people. Being keenly aware of that and knowing that not everybody can afford the products I offer, but I can't afford to sell them for anything less than we do because that's how much they cost. I would love to have a more affordable harness, especially for the mobility and balance assistance service dog niche is my personal niche. It's what I know a lot about. And the price is very much affected by the quality. So I'm working on ways we can make a slimmed down, easier and faster to create piece of equipment that maybe can have a little bit more higher level manufacturing than making everything by hand. So we'll see. We'll see. That's a whole different logistical hurdle because that's not something I've done before. There's
Right.
always new
Right.
things to figure out.
Where do you personally feel stretched the thinnest? Is it logistics, hiring, or customer expectations?
I have really awesome people. My customer service guy is amazing. That's the one thing I don't really need to worry about right now. And I have a couple of really solid, reliable production employees, and I have an admin assistant who makes sure other stuff keeps running along with me. But yeah, managing day-to-day operations pretty much falls on me. And then if there's an issue with, let's say, the website, all of my attention has to go there, which means I'm not thinking about new products while I'm thinking about it. I can't really do anything about developing new products if I'm stuck in operational logistics in place or the business doesn't run. I just don't have the time and energy to do it all right now.
Right.
It's been
Do you see systems that could help you, that could alleviate some of that stress? I mean, we're seeing so much about automation and AI, and are you using anything like that to help you or not yet?
not yet. I haven't quite figured out how that will work in my business. But my business doesn't run like other people's business, so I'm not really sure where to get you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
if I was a
Right.
marketing person, that might be totally different. But I might be using some AI to help me write and schedule social media, like do a batch of them in advance. I have used a little AI to help with some writing, just when I'm hitting a roadblock when I'm trying to write a product description or something, and it kind of just helps
Spark.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just breaks through that logjam. But other than that, as somebody coming from the arts, I am and not technologically inclined, I am very suspicious of it.
You have a company.
Yeah.
If you're looking at your day today, start to finish, what is the biggest time sucker that you wish you could just take and give to someone else?
Running the business,
Give me
like
something
managing
more
the office, like
exact.
managing the office part. I would prefer to be at the bench in the workshop, right? That's where I am most useful. That's my
Mhm.
best and highest use of my time. But somebody
But you're
has
at your
to
computer.
exactly. Somebody
Doing
has to,
what?
my God, I don't
Returning
even know
emails?
sometimes. How did the whole day disappear? I haven't left my computer. Sometimes I feel like I'm not making any progress. I'm just treading water. That comes down
Emails,
to
text messages, phone calls, orders?
actually the orders coming in and customer stuff. That's pretty smooth. That's stuff that I'm not directly involved in because I have really good people doing it. But every day there's 7 or 8 new questions that we've never heard before that we have to find solutions for, right? Uh, so that's the part I enjoy. But yeah, it's the administrative stuff, emails and bookkeeping, keeping up on suppliers. My production team manages their supplies, but um, there's always something new in the works, which requires new sourcing or alternate sourcing because an issue popped up with that piece of hardware or whatever. So yeah, I would love to never be at a computer. So if there's some automation that can help with that, I will be very interested.
Burnout sneaks up a lot in small businesses. Has it shown up for you or your team?
Oh my gosh, definitely. So I've had some personal health issues. Uh,
Sure. We were talking about burnout and how sometimes it just sneaks up on you, especially in small businesses. Have you experienced that? Have you seen it in some of your team? And what do you do to help face it?
what do I do to help face it? I don't have the answer yet. I'm kind of just
Mm.
trying to figure it out on the spot. My employees have hit burnout point. The physical building and making tends to have I've noticed about a two year turnover rate, production people. And I think it's because it's just, working with your hands all day it's physically demanding, right? So there's that. Uh, I've always had really great people, right? Kind of the continuous, just, making sure people are trained and make sure people know the foundation of the craft itself, right? Because people don't come in with experience. What we do and the way we do it doesn't, there's not really an equivalent for it. The closest match I've found so far is actually restaurant work, kitchen work is very similar. We don't have perishable product,
Right.
but there's a regular burnout rate I have noticed for that side of the team. And, um, that's just part of the planning. I have to keep rolling with it.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm at a burnout point because I'm personally struggling with some health issues. I'm a breast cancer survivor and I've recovered a lot more slowly than anticipated. And I already had pre existing disabilities, which show up more with fatigue
Right.
and cause
Sure.
fatigue.
Right.
So, yeah, it's kind of this cycle, the stress and fatigue, then trying to balance work with just taking care of yourself. It's not easy, not
It's
easy.
not.
And in the
Yeah.
past, I've wanted to walk away about 4 times. But when I start
Just
talking
this
about,
past year.
yeah, but when I start
Mm.
talking about my service harnesses and wheelchair leashes, it's like, I can't walk away from this. I love this. This matters to the world.
So
So
rewarding.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to
needed.
find, yeah. So I've been trying to reorganize everything and get everything in place so that I can find somebody who will be better at managing the daily ops so I can get back to I'm really good at.
What brings you joy?
Right, exactly. And
Yes.
that makes me happy.
The pet gear market leans toward cheap mass production, as I know you have experienced.
Mhm.
What is the hidden cost of that trend for makers, animals, owners?
Hidden cost of that trend. Well, most of the mass produced pet stuff is made to be cute and fashionable, not necessarily functional. Okay. And our take, Bold Lead's take, is we make functional gear, right? We solve equipment dilemmas. Our market is a little bit different than just the average ordinary pet person. Okay. So we are appealing to people who really appreciate and want to invest in good quality things like a leash with a lifetime warranty that they are probably going to be using for the next 20 years because they can,
Mhm.
right? Interestingly, even when you make a product with a lifetime warranty, you keep coming back and buy more of them.
They lose it.
So I love that. I want to try that one too. They end up with a collection. I love it. I have the best customers in the entire world. The hidden cost of the mass produced stuff is the price tag on that is fractions of what it even costs to make a better quality handmade item. Okay.
Mm.
Because we're making them 1, 2 at a time, not 10,000 with a machine. Right. And we have noticed that I'll just be honest. I'm just going to go back. I got to be honest. Nobody needs a $100 leash. That's the reality. But many people want it, are my most popular. Then, yeah, so what I've discovered is working with other professionals in the dog world, trainers, for example,
Trainers.
because the trainers have clients that need something to train their dog with, right? And then once their customers put their hands on the trainer's leash, they're like, oh, I have to have this.
Oh,
So,
yes.
so
Yes.
yeah, so our position in the market is different than just your ordinary pet supply
Do you
because it's
have
a
the
little more
ability,
specialized.
as far as your production goes, to grow, to serve trainers and their clients? And do you even
Please.
have that desire to grow bigger like that?
I do have the desire. Now, if my production capacity is running low right now because it's just not busy enough. My shop itself has the capacity to run at least 2 or 3 times what we are currently outputting. That
Gotcha.
would require 2 or 3 more people.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, so that would just scale with the level of business, basically.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so when it's slow, I have to maintain a smaller team to make sure
Right.
everybody can get paid, right?
Right.
One of the big blocks I've hit in the past year is the website. I had a gal who was my admin assistant. She was pretty much my right hand for almost 10 years. And unfortunately, I lost her about a year ago, medical leave, essentially, right?
Mm. Mm.
Um, which meant that, I'm now doing my job plus what she was doing. And a lot of what she was doing was the daily website
Stuff
maintenance.
you hate to do.
I had no idea how difficult it is.
Yes.
And so time consuming. Anyway,
Mhm.
so yeah, my website is old and practically broken. So I am having a new site built by some professionals this time so we can get more visibility because the way people are finding products online has completely changed in the last just couple of months. And my website was not able to adapt to that. So,
Mm.
right. So now I just needed an entirely different approach.
You have to
So there's
update
always
your
something
technology,
unexpected. Yeah.
always. If constraints disappeared, money, staff, supply, what would Bold Lead Designs look like 5 years from now?
If you know. With the constraints or without the constraints? I'm sorry.
Just your
Like,
dream business 5 years
oh,
from now. What
got
would
it.
it look
Okay.
like?
My dream business 5 years from now is I would have an excellent business manager that really loves the company and supports the mission. We have to pay attention to the bottom line, but somebody who doesn't put the bottom line first really
Mhm.
matters to me. Um, I would be at the workbench designing new product and going to more dog training conferences, right? Which takes me out of the office, which I can't do a whole lot if I'm the right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I need to get myself in a position where I'm doing what I love again.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm putting in place a plan to make that happen.
How are you doing that?
I don't know if I have the answers that I could articulate very
Maybe
well.
it's the plant.
It's in my
And
head. Actually, a lot of what I've been doing over the past several years is getting information out of my head because if I'm the only one who knows it, it doesn't do anybody any good if I'm out sick, having health
right.
complications, right? So, yeah, so I spent a couple of years really just trying to get information out of my head and somewhere else. So I'm
Mhm.
not the sole holder of all the information, right? And
So do
that's
you
a
mean
bit of a
writing
process.
SOPs and things like that?
Yes, I've had my admin people help with that. So, yeah, let's write this down.
Right.
We're coming around slow to the SOPs, but we need to write this down because if I drop off the face of the planet, somebody needs to be able to pick up the ball. So
Mhm.
putting those things in place has been important. Keeping the SOPs relevant, though, is challenging when the process changes on a regular basis. One way I have been with working on getting the website modernized up to current standards. I just changed my bookkeeping system over to a better online system that actually will have some automation components. So that's going to take some time out of the bookkeeping and the accounting necessities, because now some of it's being automatically imported rather than manually entered. So those kind of process steps, but those are difficult, but they're not overnight solutions. They take time to
Right.
implement and learn. And now we have to rewrite all the SOPs because it's a totally different
Everything's
process now.
changed. Mm.
Exactly.
Mm. Well, before we wrap, is there anything you wish more people understood about you and about your work? Anything we didn't cover?
I feel like we covered a lot really fast. About me, I am doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can, that I need like 4 more of me. So I've kind of been hiding. People haven't seen or heard from me much lately because I've just been so buried in work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
Well,
I want
where
people to
can
know I am going to reemerge soon.
where can people find you if they want more information about you and about Bold Lead Designs? Where can they find you?
Our website, boldleaddesigns.com, or if you want to cheat, it's easier. bld.pet is a shorter URL to get you in there. So yeah, we primarily sell through our own website, direct to customers. We have lots of great information. The current website has a lot of information on it that might be minimized as we make the transition, but
Mhm.
there's a lot to know about some of the specialty things.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being with us. I really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing all of the wonderful things that you're going to come out with when you have time.
Thank you. Yeah, for having me.
Huge thanks to Katrina Boldy and the team at Bold Lead Designs. Today we got past the glossy gear talk and into the real work. A museum-minded craftsperson keeping quality alive through supply swings, imported hardware, thin margins, and a body that's asked her to slow down. We heard how lifetime gear actually saves handlers money, why service dog equipment is custom or it's wrong, and the unsexy backbone SOPs, better bookkeeping, and a rebuilt website that lets a maker get back to the bench. If this resonated, share this episode with the trainer or shop owner in your circle. You can find Katrina's work at boldleaddesigns.com or the short link bld.pet. This is Behind the Gate. Systems beat willpower. Sustainable beats frantic. If you liked the conversation, follow the show and tell us who else you want at the table. I'm Kira. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.